Yeah, by looking into this, uh, even American
Mm.
majority uses feminine type of avatar, but compared from Japan, it is a little bit less.
Yeah.
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 I want to discuss this with American audience.
Yeah.
What do you think? Mm.
Yeah. No, that's a
Maybe
great question.
in Japan, yeah, I might be a super good example of the majority to use feminine type of avatar. But you guys are using masculine type of avatar. hmm My
Yeah.
in your community, what is the
hmm
majority? Armani?
Yeah, I can start. For me, it came down to more of a representative aspect, especially given how at least in terms of my skin color, it's like a I'm in a sort of minority with that, and so I kind
Mm-hmm.
of really wanted to
Hmm.
represent myself, just not just for myself, but also for potential users of social VR like me who may not be as familiar with
Mm-hmm.
both VR as well as the concept of socializing in VR, and that you can be
Mm-hmm.
yourself and you don't have to be anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
I see that
kind of a big
totally
deal.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So you mean your real world identity is also it is super important in the virtual world.
hmm
That might be one part of reason of you.
hmm
Thank you. How about you, Peter?
As for me, my avatar is a more idealized expression of myself.
Oh,
Obviously,
I
there are
see.
aspects that are that are fantasy. In this case, the blue hair. I wish I had blue hair in real life, but but
Yeah, your avatar is
and the
super
elf
cool.
ears. Oh, thank you. I
Hmm.
appreciate it.
Mm. Yeah.
But one things that are consistent are the beard and the complexion, actually. Uh,
Hmm.
and for
Mm-hmm.
the most part, I guess the physique is slowly getting there too, but that's besides the point. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is an avatar that I like to express myself as I want people to see me as close to my physical
Mm-hmm.
self. Uh, thus, when they interact with me, they know that they're interacting with someone that is as close as you can interact with in the physical space versus the VR space and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me it's like
I see.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
me it's like I see you as like cosplaying in VR and then cosplaying in like real life, and it's like it's real fun to see like the representation. Like yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
that's really fun.
Oh, I see, I see. Mm-hmm. It is super interesting. Well, maybe between countries there might be different percentages between the reality and the fiction, the best balance. Maybe sometimes depends on the country, culture, everything. Maybe for Japanese, Japan is a little bit different from America. Uh, it is very rare for us to conscious with the race difference or that kind of thing. So that might be one reason we want to become a completely different animation character and show our characteristic. Or Japanese animation culture might be have a super big influence for me, for us.
Hmm.
How do you think,
Hmm.
Mira? You were super straight type.
Uh, yeah, I think I mean for Japan, I've noticed like the influence of anime girls, especially in anime, is quite predominant. Which we
Mm.
we also started seeing in VHS already since in some time, right? I think that's something that has to do with it. I also feel like maybe in the West, where some of the users might be more conscious of wanting to have this continuity between themselves, how they're in physical world or in VR, like you said, could be because of minority groups, also because you want to show people that there is a variety of representations. I know, for example, when I would talk to my like offline friends who do not use like VR chat or like virtual characters at all, some of them they would be like, okay, so if like for them it would make sense that me as a female would use a feminine presenting avatar, but they would not understand why would a man or a male user use a feminine presenting avatar. For them, they did not make sense. So I think there's something of that, of like culturally. But it's also quite interesting because if we look at data from gaming, there's a lot of what's called like gender swapping in games where a male user you prefer feminine presenting avatars, be it for personal preference or because like for tactics or gameplay or whatever. So we see that this exists. I think it's just a question of time of it picking up, and maybe the reasons how users use VR chat, which might also influence. Especially like in Japan, like VTubers are so popular. So I wonder if how, to what extent that could also influence how users want to present themselves. And also the association, like I feel like the at least amongst people I talk to, amongst like Japanese users, this the ideal and the concepts that represents this cute girl character, right? The shoujo type character. It's often linked to freedom, having no consequences if you fail, being able to express yourselves, being able to say you like cute things, you like sweet things. And also this kind of idea that you live in this kind of space of kind of outside of certain social constraints, sociocultural constraints of how you should behave, which makes this type of character so interesting and valuable for certain people. I feel like maybe in the West we do not see a young cute girl character in the same manner, which makes the desire maybe to become her a little bit lesser or different, maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Between us, the expression of the identity is completely opposite.
Yeah.
Mila is super straight type, and then this tattoo, there is also a tattoo in her physical reality body.
I need to add. I added my leg recently.
Same one exists. Yeah. But in my case, I am completely opposite. I am changing everything and expressing myself by kawaii. So in the virtual world, and this might be one possible background. There is some small difference between American and Japanese people. American, this is not a super big difference, but Japanese tend to hide their real identity. I am also doing so. My real family, real friend doesn't know virtual girl name. That is super important for me because if someone know me in the virtual world, I cannot I cannot become virtual girl. It's very tough, right? That I assume Armani, you are not hiding your real face even in the virtual world. So yeah.
It's very close to who I am in real life and stuff. But yeah.
So
I'm more on half and half.
Like half and half. Okay.
Like, for the most part, anyone that I meet in VR, some of them I meet in real life and do a meetup and interact in a physical reality. But there are some people in my personal life that are not aware of my overall interact. How do I say this? My identity in VR.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Though mostly is because they never ask, and I usually am to my about keep to myself anyway. I don't just outwardly express, "Hey, I am a VR user," like out in the open or with friends, unless they are curious. In which case, I will let them know. And very much nonchalant about it. Nothing grandiose. But with that said, it is interesting, uh, interesting to hear their insights or their overall perspectives of what they think in general. And for the most part, at least for the people close to me, they're like, "Ah, good for you. That's great." And they don't really delve further.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like the most, I guess, open to sharing like my VR explorations or VR kind of identity in real life, just because I want to introduce more people to VR. So it's like it's fun to try to bring people into that. It's really tricky to try to get to explain in the first place what how it is in here. So one way I try to encourage that is to like bring myself as much as I can in here, and yeah, yeah, it's and by the
Yeah,
way,
timing. How you enter the VR world, that might be super important. Mm-hmm.
I'll
Who
Yeah.
you
probably,
enter with also.
oh, that
Yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I just wanted to say identity is of course important for everybody, but yeah, this yeah, this is very first things for humanity. Now we can started to design the identity of ourselves. This is yeah, super big uh impact for humanity, I believe. And yeah, and yeah, this kind of difference is super interesting. Someone want to be completely different person. Someone want to be updated version of yourself, or someone want just keep the same identity. This is yeah, this is showing what's the importance of identity of ourselves and the difference through their nationality. This is a super big finding, I believe, in this survey. Yeah, that is what I wanted to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a lot of what I saw in here too was very validating, not just for like myself, but as well as who I've met here in social VR and getting to understand their viewpoints. So it's again, I'm grateful for your analysis of this and arranging this interview or this survey. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.